see if this shows for you guys. I don't know why it's not showing for you. All right. If for some reason it's not showing, let me know. All right, so like I said, so for time saving, you're able to capture topographic data with the drone saving up to 5 times faster than it is with land-based methods. Requires less manpower. With a PPK geotagging, you can also save time by placing like numerous ground control points is no longer necessary. You ultimately deliver your survey results faster and at a lower cost. Again, all depends on the size of the project and everything as well. Cost effective, like I said, much less expensive. Doing it with, say, a drone than with satellites or with manned aircrafts. Traditional surveys can take, typically up to 1 to 2 weeks to process. Most software can be done in about 1 to 2 days. Great. Yeah, and definitely, guys, speak up if for some reason it's not showing or anything. All right. Third one, accessibility. So surveying areas that are hard to reach or typically a little bit more dangerous to access. So that's one of the other key benefits to using a drone for surveying. All right, accuracy. So spatial resolution can reach decimeters, even centimeters. 3D landscaping, low altitude, along with multi-angle shots. So you're able to get very close precision. Again, it depends on what you're using. And then just like anything, you can do your checks on it and verifying, but within tenths, hundredths, sometimes even a thousandth of of an inch. Safety. So drones do help reduce when performing surveys, say around high voltage or, like I said, heavy equipment operations, heights. Could be unstable terrain. So there's a lot of variations where it can come in handy for you and provide safety. All right. Like I said, a lot of individuals ask, do I need a license even if I'm basically flying a drone for surveying? So yes. You are required to obtain an FAA Part 107 license, as well as I'd highly recommend getting insured with it as well. And typically, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 10K for some of the photogrammetry ones. They can, of course, go up from there, but to start with, and lidar systems vary greatly. So I can't give you a price on those, but they can go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right, so photogrammetry versus LiDAR. So photogrammetry, of course, is the science of making reliable measurements by the use of photographs, especially aerial photographs. So taking multiple images, overlaying them on top of each other. And LiDAR basically is light detection and ranging, remote sensing method used to examine the surface of the Earth. So it's going to give you all the contours, it's going to give you all the depths, it'll show trees, vegetation, like I said, power poles, utilities, all that'll show up just like on the right image over here. And you're able to get a little bit more of a 3D view. So choosing drone, again, photogrammetry, there's a variety of options. These are just some of them for you guys to take a look at. So the Phantom 4 version 2, surveying and mapping, so it's the non-RTK. Basically consumer grade GPS, so it's, I would say within 3 to 10 feet is about what you're looking at as far as the accuracy goes. Mechanical shutter is what you want. Some of the other ones will use like a rolling shutter. That'd be the Mavic 2 Pro and some of the other ones. It can still be done, of course, but the mechanical shutters are better. All right, the Phantom 4 RTK. So this is the one most surveyors are using when they're first starting out. You can do volume measurements, progress images. Again, it has the mechanical shutter built into it, high accuracy. So the one thing about the RTKs, they don't run third-party applications. So it's got one basically built in. I think it's DJI Terra, I believe is what it's called, but I might be wrong on that. But this one, like I said, so with this, you're able to do pretty much everything you need as far as the photogrammetry goes. And it's getting a lot more accurate with that RTK. All right, the Matrice 300 RTK, one of the bigger models. Again, it has the basically RTK with the base station, so it's going to be able to give you volume measurements, progress videos, and images. There's multiple camera options. You can do infrared, you can do basically a camera mounted on the top of it, like you can see in the picture here. You can do lidar on it as well as do, say, video at the same time. So it gives you a lot of options. So it could carry a heavier payload. So again, doesn't run third-party applications. Again, it's going to be all proprietary through DJI. And then, like I said, inspections, thermal, solar, water. That's another camera that you can add on there. The Matrice 30 RTK, very similar. It's going to be, I guess, a little bit better as far as weather conditions go. It's got a pretty long flight time, 41 minutes. And it's only going to have basically the one camera. You don't have as many camera options, but it's more compact. It's foldable, so it's good if you need to, let's say carry it for a distance, or if you're, have minimal amount of room to work with, or carry it in a vehicle or on a plane, whatever it might be. It does give you infrared cameras, laser rangefinders. It's got, I believe it's an optical zoom on it as well. 48 times if I'm correct, but don't quote me on that one. But yeah, that's definitely a great option as well. All right, and then so now we go to lidar. So like I said, for lidar, there's tons of different options out there as well. You got the DJI M30, the Dragonflyer, the Harris H6, Vulcan, UAV. I mean, there's tons of them out there, and this is just a few of them. Some of the most popular ones out there. They've even got the Vapor 55 UAV helicopter, which you can see at the bottom. So again, depends on the use, where you're going to be using it, what types of jobs, how many jobs, and then lidars. So there's variation of lidars, like as far as accuracy goes, just like with cameras. You can get, higher grade cameras or lidar systems. And then there's full solution providers too. So like DJI has one that's already got it built in, everything's ready to go. Dragonflyer UAS, Phoenix LiDAR Systems, LiDAR USA. Like I said, so there's a few different options if you want everything that's already ready to go, basically right out of the box. All right, so types of software. So everybody knows about the ones for photogrammetry. Typically, the most common ones, Pix4D, Drone Deploy. But yeah, DJI Terra, like I said, so that's one that you'll use with like the Phantom 4 version 2. But then there's like SimActive, Nira, Global Mapper, Maps Made Easy. Like I said, there's a lot of them out there. You just got to find out what works best for you. There's subscriptions, or you can pay monthly with like Drone Deploy and Pix4D. So again, it just depends on how you're going to use it. LiDAR, very similar as far as the software goes, but they've got, Drone Deploy again, Pix4D. You've got Precision Mapper, Propel, DJI Terra. Yeah, so there's a few of them out there. You can find them, and especially if you're getting a, let's say a drone that's already got the LiDAR system, just see what they recommend for it. Typically, they'll tell you what software runs best or doesn't run well. Some of them are, very user-friendly with iOS, and other ones are not. Yeah, let's go back up here. You guys missed the beginning here. That was my fault. So like I said, surveying and mapping. So the key benefits for using a drone is you're able to cover large areas in a small amount of time, reducing the cost and the effort, basically, in providing very high accuracy for building these maps. So several benefits for using them for construction. Initial surveying and measurements, progress monitoring, and accessing those hard to reach areas. Utilities, like I said, using lidar systems, you're able to detect and see where the power poles are, power lines are, how close they are to vegetation. You know, if you need a measurement so that they know, oh, well, we want to put a road under here. Okay, well, what's the measurement? Well, you'll have that already from using the lidar system. As you can see the lines are the power lines, the high voltage lines, and you can see the power poles, so you can get a measurement. Again, 3D modeling, one of the other great benefits about it. You can do grading volumes, height measurements, like I said, for equipment, crane mobilization, construction as-builts, cross-sections, elevations, and much, much more. And progress images. So, like I said, you can basically take what's already there, give it to whether it be a engineer, one of the developers, contractors, and you can kind of overlay and see, you know, by changing it, what it's going to look like, how it's going to be when it's completed. And one of the big things everybody likes is time saving. Like I said, it can be up to 5 times faster. Again, it all depends on, you know, the area that you're doing, how big it is, the terrain. I mean, there's different, you know, reasons for using a drone, but if you're doing large areas, I'd say 50 acres or more, typically it's going to be faster and more beneficial for you guys. And cost-effective, drones a lot cheaper than getting a manned aircraft, saying using a plane to do it, or satellites. And the surveys can typically be done in 1 to 2 days, whereas traditional surveying, you know, 1 to 2 weeks by the time you process all the data. And here's where we started off for you guys, but accessibility for those hard to reach areas and for safety concerns, it's definitely a better way to go. And we already touched base on the accuracy, but they are extremely accurate. All right, does anybody have any questions in regards to using a drone for your business or types of drones? Like I said, the 2 biggest ones, you can do photogrammetry or you can look at basically lidar systems. So depending on how you're going to use it, photogrammetry works well for mapping and doing aerial images. If you're getting, you know, they want volume calculations, they want, you know, topo across, you know, say several acres or whatever it might be, or it's just the terrain is continuously changing. You know, using a lidar system to fly over top, hit it, and get all those crevices and cracks in here is going to be most beneficial to you instead of going and taking all those checkpoints. There's several different options, like I said. So for photogrammetry, you've got like the Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 RTK, which is a lot more accurate if you guys are going to be using that for surveying. And then you get into like the Matrice 300 RTK and then the Matrice 30 RTK. So very similar, the RTK 30 and the 300, but the 30 is a little bit more compact. It folds up. If anybody's ever used the Mavic 2 Pro, it's very similar to that as far as it folding in on itself. Whereas the Matrice, kind of the wings are fixed, or the outriggers are fixed. LiDAR systems, again, several different options. You can go with a fixed wing, you can go with basically a rotary, like a helicopter, you can go with the quadcopters. There's lots of options out there. And then same thing with LiDAR systems. There's different cameras, different grades. So just kind of look into it, see if that's what you're going to need, what you're going to use, how accurate you're going to need to get, how often you're going to use it. All that's going to play a fact into the facts of buying it or purchasing it. And so choosing a drone, some of them, like I said, do come basically with everything. So DJI, you can buy it. Everything's already integrated, built in, has the LiDAR system. You use their software with it. Same thing with like Dragonfly UAS, LiDAR USA. So there's several options out there. So take a look at them if you need. And types of software. So again, RTK or the photogrammetry. All right, great question. So Ethan asked how intensive is the data processing on the office side? Is it mostly automated, or does it take a human touch? So a little bit of both. When you get it, you'll process the data and then you'll have to run checks on it just like you do for surveying. So let's say that you put up a couple ground control points, like say 4, for instance. You're going to put 2 checkpoints and then you're going to use that to verify the accuracy so that you can see how close it is. Like I said, with the RTKs, you're getting within like tenth, hundredth, thousandths, of an inch. But with when you go with the lidar system, it's going to be pretty much the same. If you go with a non-RTK, so let me see where that one's at, like the Phantom 4. So this one uses pretty much the same GPS you got on your phone. So you're looking within 3 to 10 feet. So this one's definitely not as accurate, but again, you can always fine tune it and tweak it. It takes a little bit more on the office side, like you were asking about, to get it to be where you need. All right, so yeah, types of, so like Pix4D, drone deploy, basically you'll send the data, it's in the cloud, you'll send it to them, they'll verify, check it, and then send it back to you within a couple of days, 1 to 2 days, again, depending on the size of the project. And then from there, you can do all your checks and make sure everything is working properly. Same thing with the lidar system. So again, drone deploy, Pix4D, DJI Terra do the exact same thing. So like I said, you'll scan it, take all the information, send it to them, and then basically they'll build the data, put it in there for you, send it back, and you can check it and verify everything. Let me know if that answers your question, Ethan, or if you got any other follow-up questions. But this one really kind of points it out pretty well. So traditional site surveying, typically 1 to 2 days to go out, do the survey, come back in, process all the data, anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, again, depending on how big it is, the size of the project. Deliver it, so basically PDFs, CAD file, whatever it might be, another 1 to 2 weeks. So 2 to 3 weeks in total to give it to your client. Using drone deploy, for instance, with this one, so 1 day you're taking at the site, 1 to 2 days for data collection by sending it off to drone deploy. Then you basically put it into your CAD file, another day or 2, doing all your checks, and are able to deliver it to the customer. So I know I've used drone deploy and Pix4D, and we're not by any means paid by them, but I've used them for myself, and you can do probably 30 acres fairly quickly within, I'd say, 20 minutes, and that's first or second time out there. It's not hard to set up, and it's pretty much automated once you get it in the air. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us tonight. Hountains is there. Let's see. My name again is Chris with NLC Test Prep. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We check them, continuously on YouTube. Feel free to send us an email if you have any questions. support@nlcprep.com. If you have, want to set up a call and schedule, trying to become licensed, we can help you with that as well. So you can call us at 877-758-6262. But other than that, we'll see you again next month when we talk about what is a licensed surveyor and some of the steps to get there.